Hello and welcome, students. Today, we are discussing an important topic from the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants from your class 11 portion. Here, today we'll understand regarding the regions of root. There are mainly three regions of root, that is, region of meristematic activity, region of elongation, and region of maturation. So let us understand them one by one. Before moving on to the regions of the root, here we have a structure of a primary root, which is also called as main root. This end is called as the base of the root, whereas the other end is called as apex or tip of the root. When you observe carefully, at the apex or tip of the root, you find a structure called as root cap. So let us understand what is root cap. So root cap is a thimble-like structure. Thimble meaning it is a cap-like structure. Thimble actually refers to a metal cap which is worn on the index finger while sieving in order to protect ourselves from the pricking from the needle. So such a protective cap or covering is present at the apex or tip of the root, and we call it as root cap. Now this root cap is made up of multicellular cells. It is multicellular and also is having parenchyma cells. So root cap is a thimble-like structure present at the apex or tip of the primary root, which is multicellular and made up of parenchyma cells. Now, what is the function of this root cap? Why is it present here? The function of the root cap is mainly it is going to provide protection. Protection from what? Protection from the friction that the apex or tip faces as the root moves down the soil layers. So as you can see in the figure, this tip or apex is the portion of the root which will move through the different layers of the soil, okay, moving through the pebbles, stones, etc., and hence can face a lot of friction. So in order to protect this particular tip for further growth, there is a cap which we call it as root cap. Now the question arises, are root caps present in all roots? No. Root caps are absent in hydrophytes. They are absent. They are absent in hydrophytes, which we also call as aquatic plants. Aquatic plants. And they are also absent in secondary roots. Secondary. The lateral roots which arises from the primary roots are called as secondary roots. So in the secondary roots as well as the hydrophytes, you see there is an absence of root cap. Because in case of hydrophytes, the roots are already present in water. So they're not facing a lot of friction as that of the terrestrial roots. So they have root pockets but do not have root cap. Great. Moving on to the regions of the root. The first region of the root that we see here, just above the root cap, is region of meristematic activity. So, above the root cap, a few millimeters above the root cap, we have the region called as region of meristematic activity. As the name itself suggests, here divisions are taking place. Rapid divisions are taking place. It is a 1 cell becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and so on. So, cell divisions are taking place rapidly, and hence there is an increase in the number of cells. Increase in number of cells. Right. Now, how are these cells present? What are the features? Whenever we talk about feature of meristematic cell, we know that the cells are thin-walled, They are having dense protoplasm. That means they have good amount of cytoplasm along with cell organelles. Right? So dense protoplasm meaning good amount of cytoplasm with cell organelles is going to be present. And there is also presence of prominent nuclei. Prominent nuclei, that is easily observable, well-developed nuclei is going to be present. Great. So this region of meristematic activity leads to increase in the number of cells. Now, coming to the region of elongation. So close to the region of meristematic activity, that we use the term proximal. Proximal means close to. So close to the region of meristematic activity, we see there is region of elongation. Here, the cells undergo enlargement. What are the cells undergoing? They are undergoing enlargement. Because in the region of meristematic activity, we have seen the cells are small, they are thin-walled, isn't it? In this particular region, the cells are enlarging. How are they enlarging? It is mainly because of various reasons. First, because the protoplasmic content is going to increase. So we see there is an increase in protoplasm. When the protoplasm increases, naturally the cell also enlarges. Also, the size of the vacuole is going to increase. Size of vacuole is going to increase. Increases. Right. Also, the cell experience turgidity. Turgidity meaning water enters into the cell. So there is a water uptake. Water enters into the cell and hence applies a force on the cell walls, and hence new cell wall materials get deposited. So due to the force on the cell wall and deposition of new cell materials, or size of the vacuole increasing or increasing in the amount of protoplasm, we see there is increase in the size of the cells, or we say the cells are undergoing enlargement. Now, this region is very, very important because this region is responsible for the growth of root in length. They ask this question. This is quite important. So, which region is important? Which region of root is essential for the increase in the length of the root? It is region of elongation. So, it is responsible for the growth of the root in length. So, as the cells increases in size, naturally, the length of the root is also going to increase. Then, close to the region of elongation, you have region of maturation. So as the name itself suggests, in this particular region, cells are undergoing maturation. That means they are undergoing differentiation. Differentiation means the cells are going to stop division and they are going to take up their own structure and function. They are going to take their own structure and function. Right? So they may form different anatomical layers of the root. It may be cortex, okay? They may form cortex, they may form xylem, they may form phloem, etc. So they are coming together and they are withholding or stopping division, further division, and they are going to mature. They are going to mature. They are going to take up their own structure and function and form different anatomical layers of the root. It may be cortex, xylem, phloem, etc. Right. When we see in the region of maturation, can you see some hair-like structures coming out here? The epidermal cells, that is the outermost cells of this region, that is region of maturation, these epidermal cells convert into fine hair or thread-like structures, and we call them as root hair. What do we call them? Root hair. So please keep in mind that root hair is present only in the region of maturation and is absent in the case of elongation as well as meristematic activity. So the epidermal cells of the root are now forming thin thread or hair-like structures, which we call as root hair. And we know the function of root hair. Root hair helps in the absorption of water and minerals from the soil. So along with roots, these root hairs also contribute in the absorption of water and minerals from the soil. So these are the three different regions of the root. And this diagram tells you everything about it, right? So let us test your knowledge. We have a small homework here for you. So you can name the three regions of the root. Good. The second question is, which region of root is responsible in increase in length of the root? Third, root hairs arise from which region of the root? Fourth, what are root hair? Mention its function. And fifth, what is root cap? I'm quite sure you can answer all these questions. So please write it down. And I'm sure you understood the topic. So all the best. Thank you.